If you're an investor tracking multiple properties in your portfolio, how do you quickly identify your top performing assets? How do you compare a poor investment to an asset that's having a bad year due to maintenance issues or vacancies? Whether you're the owner of a single family home or multiple units, all this information can be tracked and summarized through our owner's portal at PinellasPropertyManagers.com. Our property management reporting consists of maintenance status tracking, income and expense reports, owner's operating statement, and a cash flow statement. Hi, my name is Joe Narcisse, and I'm the broker owner at PinellasPropertyManagement.com. In this video, we will be going over where to locate all the aforementioned reports, how to view maintenance actions, and details about how we send out our end of the year receipts for the units that we manage. Take a moment and familiarize yourself with our portal and how to access the information most important to you and your investment. Hello and welcome to your owner's portal. If this is your first time, I hope this is not too much information and I hope it's not too overwhelming, but be my guest to watch this video as many times as you need to digest the information available. First thing I want to talk to you about is some of you are going to have more than one property. So what we can do is we can select which property up here in the upper right drop-down box. All right. The next thing we see is our profit and loss box, which is the widget in the upper left corner. It's going to be revenue over expenses, and you get to see the last 90 days. Next, we're going to see our prospect funnel. This is information pertaining to a property that has not been leased yet. You'll see the new applicants, the contacts, the showings, and the rental applications there. And it's a good data track to make sure that we're showing the property as requested, as the owner would like. Anyhow, next is your recent tenant requests. The good thing about your tenant requests, they can all be tracked here. They're displayed. You get real-time updates about how we're performing maintenance, how quickly we respond, and when maintenance is complied with. Next, we have the leases with outstanding balances. Hopefully you don't stay in this area for too long and then you move on to the recent payments received. Good thing about that is you can actually see that up to the first 24 hours and then it tracks by the day. Next is vacancies by property, and hopefully you don't linger in that area as well. Next, we'll talk about transactions. It's the next tab over, and it defaults to the last 90 days. You can choose your property. And when we think of transactions, we're ultimately talking about income versus expenses, or owner contributions versus distributions. And all of our reports default to a certain period. Know that when you open up this default period, that it might not be the period that you're looking for. So I like to set the defaults to this year to date every time. Next, let's go over to the requests. We're going to delete that one, but your requests are made for you as the owner. This is the area where the owner submits requests for Pinellas Property Management to get a contractor to repair them, or we coordinate repairs that way. So for example, if we choose our property and then we choose the status, let's go with not started. We have no not started, and that's how we see the status of each one. These identifiers are the same identifiers used to track tenant requests, except for these are the maintenance requests made by the owner. And let's just do one for fun. Alexa refuses to do the dishes. All right, now that's pretty descriptive. This should be where the description is, but we'll use this note for Pinellas Property Management to communicate. Please have a member of PPM, Pinellas Property Management, to meet the installer dishwasher at the property between the hours of 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. All right. And then we can set a due date. And lastly, we choose the property. Now, if you have a multi-unit and you want to select which unit, this is your opportunity to do that. And if you want to upload a pertinent file that helps to give us more information about any details that you feel are pertinent to the property, we can go ahead and have that uploaded. And then the last thing, don't forget to hit save, and that goes to a member of our staff and we'll know to take action. All right, today I'm going to talk to you a little about maintenance. Maintenance is important. A good property management company is very good at performing maintenance and tracking it. A great property management company tries to create as much transparency as possible. And that's what we've done through our system. Keep in mind, all maintenance requests generally go through us to the owner. The owner approves the maintenance request, and then we get the job done. There are some circumstances, including fire, flood, or blood. Those are probably the most important things that we have to urgently respond to. Flood needs to be addressed because water needs to be sopped up, mopped up, and prevent damage. Blood and fire, we're probably getting 911 involved, and we'll just take it from there because no situation is going to be the same. So let's talk about our system here. Our maintenance system is pretty cool because we have several different areas of redundancy. We have our recent tenant requests that tracks all the maintenance issues that were requested by the tenants and how quickly we resolve them. The next area for maintenance tracking is your maintenance request for the owner. The owner can put their own maintenance request in, and they can communicate with us on how to resolve it. And we're going to perform that through email. One thing that's cool about our portal is that we have this task area, and the task area is the biggest tattletale portion. Biggest tattletale portion. It creates as much transparency as you could possibly have for each maintenance that's been performed. And if that's a top priority for you, you can put a star by it, and that'll add it to your favorites. So it's at the top of your list every time you go check your reports page. Now I want to talk about what we do as an organization to try to create as much transparency and record keeping. So if we perform a task and we create a receipt and the receipt is accomplished, we're going to see a zero balance at the bottom of this receipt, and then we're going to see our invoice. Now, our invoice is special because it has a 1 of underscore and the year. This represents that this is your first receipt if it says 1 of, and then the last number gets filled in at the end of the year. That's good because at the end of the year, you have a trackable record of all the maintenance that's been performed on that property, and you have a way to show that you have each receipt that was tracking the maintenance of the property, and therefore you can do your taxes for that year. All right, here we go. If you're an investor and you're looking to procure a property, or you're an accountant and you're looking to see if property is profitable, the reports page is your favorite area. The data generated to produce the income and expense reports, the operating statement, and the cash flow statement are all redundant data that will be recorded and displayed in the business overview section, as well as the accounting section. Let's take a moment and study a cash flow statement. By the way, if you find something that you think is very important in here, go ahead and put a star by it, and it adds it right to your favorites. All right. So let's look at a cash flow statement. And the first thing we're going to look at is the period to make sure it's the period that we want to see. I like to see this year to date to see the performance of the property. Boom, there it goes. Now, the first thing we see at the top of the page is the cash at the beginning of the period. The cash at the beginning of the period represents advanced rent, owner's contributions, or any rent that has not been dispersed to the property owner. So if you received a payment, but the payment is pending, this is where you would see it. The next thing we're going to see is the revenue or rent. The revenue or rent is over expenses, Expenses are things like management fees or those things that come along with the month-to-month maintenance of property, and that will yield your net operating income, or your net income, I should say. And then lastly, we have the security deposit. Now, the security deposit is not included in the owner's income because it's held against the property. So our cash flow statement is a powerful tool offering a detailed breakdown of income, expenses, and all financial performance of the property. These tools ensure transparency to the owners and investors by providing a detailed transaction history. Owners can review individual transactions, offering a comprehensive audit trail of all financial activities related to their property. Use this feature to make informed decisions and optimize the financial success of the portfolio. Thank you for taking the time to educate yourself about our system and how we do business. If you have any other questions, check out our frequently asked questions section, or feel free to check out our other videos. Thank you.